here in Madrid, it's the opportunity for Latin American, Central American ministers to gather and put their commitments on the table, develop their common position to take to Moscow, tackling this issue head on for the first time and hopefully agreeing an action program, a decade of action. And we believe that if that happened, you could achieve a 50% reduction in the forecast level of road fatalities, which would be a huge reduction in avoidable and unnecessary death.
The Latin American region will provide strong leadership and will provide evidence that change can happen and that it will happen, and we will show strong results.
The decade of action is one of the most important points that we face now, and that we need everybody in order to support this initiative as much as possible. And if you think on how many families every day are being hit by this issue, it's time for action. Together, we can save millions of lives.
Bueno, me parece que es muy importante que podamos sentir que realmente hay voces que ya se están escuchando. Hay un cambio en el mundo que se ha provocado desde Naciones Unidas con un gran apoyo de la Fundación FIA, en donde ya los gobiernos estamos hablando de que la seguridad vial no puede ser simplemente un tema más, sino que tiene que ser un tema de calidad de vida, de mejorar la vida de cada uno de los habitantes.
Road safety is a big issue for the Latin America and Caribbean region, and there's very strong leadership in the region, and I think this is starting to gain force. No? We, in September 2006, with the first stakeholders forum held in Costa Rica and with the leadership of Nobel Prize laureate Oscar Arias, and with other key institutions and leaders in this area, the region has begun to come together, and we just needed to bring this awareness to the table, because the political commitment is starting to be there, and the resources and the motivation for change.
The great thing about road safety is that there is a lot of knowledge already, especially in European countries. In Sweden, the Scandinavian countries have progressed a lot. So we know many of the best practices. So it's just a matter of incorporating them, adapting them to the different situations or the different countries. But of course, in those countries, you have to stimulate or motivate the different individuals, especially the governments, and get involved in all the areas like road building that should be safe and incorporate all the safety features.
Muchas gracias. I'm really happy to be here in Costa Rica to be an advocate for road safety, because this is something that we know we cannot afford to lose any more children, any more lives on a man-made epidemic.
Road safety is an overwhelming subject, and it's overwhelming because it involves life and death and many injured people in every country, families devastated. But the most devastating thing is perhaps to know that all this death, all these injuries are preventable, and that there's a lot that can be done.
This is the emergency trauma.
This is the emergency trauma room. Here we receive the most severe trauma patients, or are all.
I hear an average one a day, severely injured child.
Severe, almost one by day. It's really hard to work here and to see their parents outside crying, asking for, please
save their life.
Yes, save the life of our kids. So it's a very dramatic place. It's the place where lives change. Not only the lives of their parents, also our lives, because when kids die here, it's not the same after that. I really ask for better roads, for better prevention campaigns, for many people involved. Our kids are important everywhere. Mm-hmm. We have everybody to protect them. I welcome this decade of action for road safety. Everybody needs to do something to change it.
Bueno, en mi lugar es lo más doloroso. Es algo que no se puede explicar ni con palabras. El dolor que se siente completamente de saber usted que está al borde de perder un hijo, o de las que ya lo perdieron y no tienen forma de poder. Es que no hay palabras para expresar el dolor que se siente de haber perdido un hijo por las carreteras angostas, por las faltas de comodidades para poder transportarlos a alguna escuela.
History will judge us very greatly. History will judge us in the sense that how this impacts on the children of the world. It impacts very strongly, and indeed the higher incidence of accidents are against those who are less able to protect themselves. But by that basis, we must not leave out of the loop those who are less able to defend themselves and who need the support of leadership at all levels. And therefore, history will judge us harshly, and I think indeed condemn us if we fail to take the action that should flow and which we are very capable of taking.
And that's why it's so important that a region is gathering together at ministerial level to tackle this issue for the first time and to take their recommendations, their understanding of the situation that applies to their region, taking that to Moscow later this year when at world level ministers will be discussing this issue.